The infiltration party takes a week of rest after their first successful mission. Steele gears up and takes stock of Griffith's most capable warriors. Gaston has joined the raiders while Stuvert is in the vanguard and cooks away from battle. Ambrose takes some leadership tips from Casca. Milosh gets closer to Griffith, learning chess and being ambushed in a splash fight. He notices Griffith's odd necklace. Griffith says he won the crimson egg from a fortune teller who said that anyone bearing the item would obtain the world in exchange for their own flesh and blood. Mirka's similar artifact doesn't go unnoticed. Mirka takes some time whipping up the crowd into an impromptu tournament with wooden weapons. In their respective rounds, Steele defeats Mirka, Milosh defeats Ambrose, and Judo defeats many of the Hawk's top fighters. Steele gets the edge on Milosh in the semi-final, but gets Milosh on his feet to declare a draw. Judo is impressed and yields the final round. Griffith is entertained by the sport and allows the party to strategize for the next mission. Razorbank Bailey is about to be attacked by a sizable two-door force, with more reinforcements on the way. If the Midland forces and Band of the Hawk can rout the enemy now, there won't be a prolonged siege. Milosh, Steele, and Ambrose take stock of the battlefield and offer their suggestions even as the nobleman of the Bailey departs. A younger noble, Laban, seems more interested in the talks and is oddly humble towards the experienced mercenaries. He highlights one complication. A friendly outpost with advantageous position has not been heard from for 3 days. While Griffith and Casca take the lead on a pincer around the enemy camp, the infiltration party will investigate the outpost and signal when its war machines are ready to initiate the battle. Mirka has the troops hyped up for their next encounter. The party trudges through deep trenches and razor vine to get to the hilltop outpost at night. Mirka comes across a purple mushroom that gives him vivid hallucinations. When the party finds some of the missing Midland infantry, they see that the men have been under the mushroom's influence for some time. Mirka, thinking the infantry are demon tigers, beheads one of the men. Steele once again steps up with a quick ruse, pretending to be a priest accompanied by seers to witness the men's revelation. The infantrymen are satisfied in their delusions and show the party a hidden passageway to the outpost dungeon. They manage to spread the mushroom's influence to Ambrose, who begins seeing the party as anointed knights in shimmering armor. Milosh stays topside to keep watch as the other three descend. They witness a shocking scene below. The infantrymen have abandoned their posts to a hedonistic orgy of excess brought on by the mushrooms and a green stew that seems to amplify one's urges and vice. Unfortunately, Mirka partakes of the stew while Steele gets some splattered in his face by one of the heretics. Mirka is now driven only by his ego, while Steele hunts for booze. Steele manages to trip a trap and drop a portcullis that locks them in the dungeon. Milosh hears this and rushes to move a cannon to break the gate. In their selfish searching, Mirka and Steele come across the night's most horrific sight. One of the heretics bears the appearance of a great goat and immediately enters a rage when the party interrupts his feasting. Ambrose joins in the fight while trying not to harm the stew-addled infantrymen and prostitutes. Milosh manages to break the gate and join the fight. Despite being under no adverse effects, he too sees the great goat and is particularly rattled. Once all four engage the fiend, they slay it. The outpost is secured, and the battle concludes in victory. Many more battles await the Band of the Hawk in the years to come. Hey guys, thanks for watching these little session recaps. So in my Borka recaps, I actually spend a lot of time kind of commentating about some of the tricks that I'm doing as a DM, and I didn't quite want to do that for Berserk because so far I'm not pulling out that many tricks. I'm just trying to run a good session with a new group of people and this interesting, source book that is not meant to be a D&D source book, with Berserk. I did want to highlight two kind of challenges that have been still fun to work with as this game has been running. Number one, my choice to follow along with the events of the Golden Age and Band of the Hawk, but kind of take guts out of it, has brought up a way that, I have to have some guardrails on the adventure and the plot without making it feel like a railroad, right? And I think so far I've done a pretty good job of that. They still fought Bazuso like Guts did, but in a very different way. And in fact, they had lots of options in that first session. I mentioned that they discussed doing a pitched battle or maybe a duel, and those were both options that, for the record, I was prepared to do that night, but they chose the quiet nighttime infiltration path that has kind of started to shape the party into this infiltration team. So I think that is going good so far, and especially this last session, somebody commented that this was going in a very weird and interesting direction, and that's kind of what I want. I'm using plot points, but the path from point A to point B is a winding one. The second challenge is maybe more than any group that I've played with since my Pathfinder days in college. These dudes are awesome and very tactically minded. So I'm going to have to bring it on these monster encounters. Now that doesn't mean that I have to charge up every encounter to be like deadly and double the enemies and give everybody legendary actions. It just means that I have to think more, I think, in the moment of what my monsters are doing. I have a tendency to run my monsters as not dumb, but here's the one or two things that they care about. If I can add some real tactics on top of that, I think I'm going to make for some really nice combat encounters that are truly challenging and fun for the players. Hopefully it's been that so far, but I'd like to up my game a little bit, really bring it in that category. That's most of what I have to talk about, everybody. Again, thank you for watching these. Give it a share to some of your Berserk friends if maybe they're considering D&D but didn't know that you could do something like this with it. And of course, you can always steal my idea and run your own game of Berserk D&D using this one as inspiration. That's all I got, everybody. Have a Nat 20 day. Bye-bye.